Okay, let's continue with D part 2. So in D part 2, what I have done is that I have introduced a frail wire that connects this point to here. So from the candidate's response, I can see that many of you can tell that due to the frail wire, and when the switch is closed, actually what will happen is that the casing will become live. Now you notice that I use the word the casing become live rather than saying that the current flow to the casing. So why is it that I cannot say that current flow to casing? Because when we want to talk about current flow, right, there are two conditions that must be satisfied. Number one is that there must be a closed path for the current to complete one cycle, right, from the positive go to the negative. The other criteria is that there must be a high PD to a low, not high PD, sorry. There must be there must be a point, a terminal that give you the high voltage, and there must be a point that give you a low voltage. In other words, there must be potential difference. So now if you look at the situation so far, student has said that, oh, okay, due to the frail wire, the current will flow to the casing. But you have not tell me flow to the casing, then do what? Because in here, this diagram, the casing is resting on wooden stand, meaning that they are not connected to the ground. So technically speaking, if you are just telling me that, oh, due to the frail wire, the current will flow to casing, I would say that you are wrong. Because you have not provided me this part. Where is the low voltage that you are talking about? Because from the brown wire, this is your high voltage. So in order for you to say that there is current flow, you must satisfy two things, right? There must be a closed path, and number two, from high voltage to low voltage. So where is the low voltage? Hence, in your answer, you need to tell me that, oh, okay, because the casing, right, is connected to earth wire, and the earth wire will connect it to a terminal with 0V. So when you have a high voltage to a low voltage, then you can tell me that, okay, the current will flow through the casing and then goes to the earth wire, and from the earth wire goes to the 0 voltage. And as a result, because the casing is having a very low voltage, then your current here will be very large, and that will trigger the fuse and it will cut it off. So you need to have all these components in your answer. So if we look at the answer over here, you need to tell me that, okay, the casing will become live once the switch is on. So when the casing become live, because it is connected to an earth wire, as a result, then there will be a huge current. A huge current will flow, and as a result of this huge current, the fuse will blow. Okay, or you can say that the fuse wire melt. And then because the question wants you to describe what would happen to the speaker, please try to avoid saying that the speaker will not work. What does it mean by will not work? So in this case, because the fuse wire has melted, there will be no more current, and as a result, the speaker will be off. So that's how you do it. Okay, for the last part, I am also quite disappointed because when candidates sees this line, each unit of energy costs 20 cents, they thought that energy is measured in terms of joules. Unfortunately, this is wrong. Okay, your energy, especially electrical energy, is sold to us in terms of kilowatt hour. kWh is a form of energy. So in order to find out what is the total cost, you should take the 20 cents and multiply by the consumption of the energy in terms of kWh. So how do you find kWh? Well, it is actually quite straightforward. You take the W, the power rating, turn it into kW. And then after that, you take the duration, and then you change the duration into hours. So now you have kW and H. So how do you get kWh? You multiply the two of them together. So once you multiply them together, this will be your consumption in terms of kWh, and you can substitute it in here, and you will get the cost in 2 dp. Okay, why in 2 dp? Because the smallest dollar amount that you can give is 1 cent. There's no 0.001 cent. So because of that, that's how you get the answer. So please remember through this question what you have learned. Number one, electrical energy is sold in terms of kWh, not joules. Current flow, there are two criteria. There must be a closed path, high V to low V. There must be a potential difference. So hence, whenever you want to explain why there is a huge current flow, you need to identify these 2 points and how these 2 points comes about. And of course, the key difference between turn and coil and how the speaker works. Okay, thank you.